doesn't matter what somebody else is doing. You're forgetting that you lost 20 pounds or you run 2 minutes a mile faster than you used to. And
Yeah.
that's all that matters. We're all
Yeah.
different. And that's all that matters. Are you doing better today than you were yesterday?
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Office Visits with Dr. V. You guys know who I am. I am Benita Vernado, MD. I'm a board certified OBGYN and a board certified lifestyle medicine physician. And it is my goal to help you have a happier and healthier life. And I've got another great, inspiring guest that I just happened to randomly meet. But we were almost kind of like the same person. Well, we weren't the same person, but we had a lot in common. We had similar birthdays. We had our kids around the same age. We both lived in Houston at some point. I just spoke up and just kind of, she was a woman that was in her 40s. She's a runner. She looks great. And I'm like, what are you doing? And little did I know there was a story behind all of that. All right. So I am welcoming to Office Visits with Dr. V, Lori.
Just 7. It's a tough one.
Just, I like it. Lori G. Lori just 7. And she is, gosh, she has a professional career, but we're not here to talk about that today. So, Lori, how about you just introduce yourself to the listeners?
Sure. Thanks. It's great to see you again. It was awesome running
Yeah.
into you and meeting you. My name is Lori Gicewicz. I live in Greensboro. I have 2 kids, husband, cats, dog, the whole thing. As most people, I have every excuse in the world not to work out or not to take care of myself.
Yeah.
Uh, but somewhere along the way, after having my daughter, I just realized that that was really important, that I wanted to get back to who I knew I was. And I just got after it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Did she get after it? I'll give you the information for her Instagram, and you will see how she got after it. But I was there promoting a 5K, and people were coming in to register and get their bibs for the 5K. So we were in a running store, and so she said she's a runner for 20 years, and I love to hear you say I wanted to get back to that. So what we're going to talk about today, and um, I really think this is foundational. Mindset shifts that we need to have to prepare us for mental and physical transformation. Mindset shifts that we need to have to prepare us for mental and physical transformation. And Lori has 3 that she wants to share with us. But first, I want to say we have in common, we both have 2 children. After we have our second kid, our bodies change.
Mhm.
And as an OBGYN, I really try to allow my patients or encourage them to give themselves some grace. Because I say your body will never be the same, but that doesn't mean it can't be great, right? So tell us about these mindset shifts because, transformation happens, I think, in the mind first.
Absolutely. I think that, after having a first child, it's not as difficult, I say. I'm lucky enough to have a partner who will take the child and I can do what I have to do. After my second child, I now have a toddler and a baby. My husband's on the road 5 days a week, and I can't really take the time, or so I think. Um, and I think this kind of brings me to my first point, and I think the most important point I want to make is that it's not being selfish to take care of yourself. I think a lot of women, especially, it's just kind of in our DNA to take care of everybody and to take
Yep.
care of everything.
Yep.
And, if we're on the treadmill for a half hour, that's a half hour we could be folding laundry. Or if we're running, it's, 30 minutes we could be coloring with our daughter. Um, but if you are just so drained and you're not taking care of yourself, then you can't give yourself fully. So I think it's really important for women, especially, to realize, and men too, but I think women especially, um, you know, a half hour divided by 24 hours, that's a really small percentage of your time. And if you can give yourself a half hour, 20 minutes, whenever it is, to recharge yourself, to do whatever it is, to meditate, to do yoga, whatever it is you want to do, um, you're going to feel rejuvenated and you're going to be able to give more of yourself. So I really think that's the most important thing. You're not being selfish. You're actually going to be a better person for your family.
Absolutely. You'll be more productive, more clear headed. Your mood will be better. We say that so many times, and I don't get tired of saying it because even along this journey, you still have to keep reminding yourself that this is not selfish. This is not selfish. I love that. That never gets old. We always
Mm.
need to be reminded of that. I love that one. Did you feel like you were selfish when you kind of took charge of, your health again?
Oh, 100%. Absolutely. There are still days 20 years later, my kids are 13 and 11, so I'll say 13 years later. Um, there are still days that I have to remind myself it's okay that I'm doing this for myself. And, now I'm up to some days 2 hours of working out a day. So that's a little bit harder to
Yeah.
convince myself.
Yeah.
So, I do make some adjustments. I get up 4:30 in the morning, whatever it is, to get it done so that it's not a disruption. Um, once you get into the 2 hour, 3 hour range, maybe something has to give. But
Yeah.
uh
Yeah.
yeah, I did feel guilty and I do still some days. And although I will say my kids are conditioned now, if I'm in the gym, they know I'm in the gym and wait until she's done.
Wait until mama is done, because
Yep.
mama is doing nothing while she's in the gym but focusing on mama. I love that. Well, I'm glad you said that about 4:30 in the morning. I don't get up quite so early, but I do get up early. And there's no guilt there because everybody's asleep.
Right.
Everybody's sleep. And it really, I know some of you guys are like, well, I shouldn't have to get up so early, to take care of myself, but it really is a quiet time. It's peaceful and you really can focus on yourself without, any distractions from
Mhm.
anybody. Maybe the dog, but that's about it. It's like I am trying to get people, and I am not a morning person. That's why I thought I would be a great OBGYN because I love staying up in the middle of the night. But I have turned into a morning person, and getting up, starting my day at 5 has been amazing. And that's part of a transformation that I hope that our listeners will at least consider. Just plant the seed. Let's just plant the seed. Okay. All right. So don't be selfish. I mean, not don't be selfish.
You're
Taking
not.
care of yourself is not selfish.
Right.
Okay, got it. What about, let's see, number 2?
The second thing I would say, and this has become more and more important in the world of social media. It's so easy to doom scroll, to scroll through Instagram and Facebook, um, and compare yourself to whoever you see on the screen, and think, oh my gosh, she looks so much better than me, or she runs so much faster than me. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what somebody else is doing for a couple of reasons. The first reason, we all know that we only post the best things. We only post the good. We only post the best mile time and the best workout. There
Yeah.
are plenty of workouts that sucked before that we didn't post. Um, and second, the only person you really need to compare yourself is to whoever you were yesterday. Are you better than you were yesterday?
Oh, wait, say that again. Who do you need to compare yourself to?
The person you were yesterday. That's it.
Mm,
That's it.
okay. Well, y'all, somebody helps me edit these things, and I'm just going on camera and saying that needs to be put out on social media. You only need to compare yourself to the person you were yesterday. I love that. I love that. Mm.
It's hard. I know it's hard. I catch myself. I try not to post as much anymore, which pros and cons. I do know that there are some people out there who appreciate the content I put out. Um, but I try not to get on social media too much because I'll do the same thing. I'll look at somebody else and think, wow, look at her legs, or wow, look at her arms, or
That okay.
we all do it. We all do it.
Wow.
It's just and you're forgetting that you lost 20 pounds, or you run 2 minutes a mile faster than you used to. And
Yeah.
that's all that matters. We're all
Yeah.
different. And that's all that matters. Are you doing better today than you were yesterday?
Mm. Yeah, that's good. We didn't really open up talking about your journey, but you lost quite a few pounds, and you've got quite a bit of muscle mass. You're very toned. I'm looking at you sideways because I'm like, your legs look amazing. And got like abs that you can see. So I'm telling you, you have to check out her Instagram. So, just tell our listeners real quick, like, how much did you lose and how long did it take? And, how did you make that transformation?
After my daughter, I had her in 2012. It took me until 2014 to really decide that I wanted to do something about it. I knew that my pant size had gone up 3 sizes. I still felt fairly comfortable, but I knew that that wasn't me. Um, so one day I was in a brand new office, brand new job, and one of the ladies in the office said, "Hey, do you want to join this gym challenge with me?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" I'm always up for a challenge. I hadn't even thought about going to a gym. I'd always just run. Um, so we ended up going to this. It was, I don't even remember exactly what the challenge was. It might have been 90 days or 60 days. I don't even know. Um, but I had never lifted weights before, really, not to any extent. So we were deadlifting, squatting, kettlebell swings, the whole thing. And it was really pretty cool. It was exciting. I was nervous first walking in. I didn't even know how to load plates on a bar.
Oh,
Yeah,
lifting. That's real.
lifting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So the trainer had us on a fairly strict diet, probably a lot more strict than I would do now. It was really low carb. Um, but it was just for the challenge. It wasn't sustainable. It was just really for the challenge to lose weight, to lose body fat. We were going to class together, I want to say like 5:30 every morning. And from the beginning to the end, it was probably 3 months. I lost about 30 pounds.
Wow.
And I had never had to lose weight before, so I didn't really know how to do it. But just, showing up and eating much better, and being a little more mindful about what I was eating, and having the camaraderie, that was really
Yeah.
the trifecta, really.
Yeah. Okay, wait, the trifecta was what?
Uh,
Camaraderie
camaraderie, showing up for my workouts, and eating better.
and eating better. Camaraderie, showing up, and eating better. Okay.
Mhm.
I will say I have stopped eating after 7. My bedtime is usually around 9 or 10 o'clock, and just by doing that alone, I lost like 5 pounds, and my jeans fit
Wow.
so much better.
That's
I
awesome.
I do Pilates, but it's just like we always think we have to make these big changes, and it's great that you had a challenge, but, they're also you can do one of those of the trifecta, and get started, and you most likely will see some result,
Mhm.
and physically, mentally, for sure.
And I would say, obviously, that to prioritize eating. In my opinion, I know this is not everybody's opinion, but I would rather work out 3 hours a day if that was how I was gonna lose weight, but it's not. We have to eat better.
You do have to eat better. What were some of the things you had to give up that you had to say sayonara to or limit? Let's say limit.
Alcohol was limited, if not completely out. I can't remember, but this was almost 10 years ago now. Jeez. That's kind of crazy. Pasta, I pretty much eliminated. Rice, a lot of the empty carbs, white bread, things like that,
Mm.
and just increasing green vegetables and vegetables altogether.
plant-based diet or
Mhm,
increasing your plants. Love it.
mhm,
I didn't
mhm.
tell her to say that, y'all, but increasing plants. So, what part of your transformation do you feel like adding weight training, contributed to? Um, is that I mean, because, we do need the muscle mass. You and I are both you know what, y'all? She's like, I think you're 13 days older than me. We were born the
Mhm.
same year. We're both in our late 40s. And so, um, tell us a little bit about the benefits of weight training.
It felt pretty cool to be able to see triceps and biceps. I had never I'll tell you, I used to watch Friends because who didn't? And I would look at Jennifer Aniston's arms and think, wow, I really, someday I would love to look like that. And I was starting to look like that. And I was like,
Oh,
holy
wow.
crap. Like this was really cool. I just keep lifting this and eating better. And it was really, I don't know, it's kind of vain, but it's kind of fun to see the transformation in your body, like to see the things that you can do with your body and to get a
Oh,
six pack. And yeah, it was fun. It's fun and it just made me feel healthier.
I could imagine. I could imagine that. So, you looked better. What were some of the things that you felt like you could do? Because I know you were stronger, you're lifting. Was your balance better? Were you able to run faster? What were some of the other physical benefits of weight training?
Well, at the same time as this challenge, I was training, I want to say for a half, it was either a half or a full marathon. I honestly can't remember anymore. But I was in the middle of training, which sounds kind of crazy because I was doing both at the same time. But lifting makes your running so much better. And I'm finding that out now again, 10 years later, um, that when your legs are stronger, your arms are stronger, um, your core is stronger, you can run so much faster and so much longer. And just recently, I actually came in first in a 5K, first in my age group. It's not a huge field. Um,
Yeah.
but still, I had never thought that was possible. So that was pretty cool
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. Oh, wow. And you know what? As we get older and we start to, lose muscle mass, that does affect our metabolism. So,
Mhm.
definitely need to add that muscle in to help with that. And then also our bones. Like we need that resistance to help to prevent osteoporosis. And so
Right.
it also helps with balance and just a whole bunch of stuff. Cause as you get older, you lose these things that you didn't even know were at play that were allowing you to
Mhm.
upright. All of a sudden, you trip in and you fall in, and that's because of, your loss of muscle mass and strength. So, all right. So take us back. We did one, you are not selfish if you're taking care of yourself. And what was number two?
Don't compare yourself to anybody but yourself.
All right. And what is number three?
Number three is a phrase that gets tossed around a lot. I have it on a t-shirt, I have it on a plaque, but it's really true. It's progress, not perfection.
Hmm.
I am a perfectionist by nature. I was born a perfectionist and I struggled to do anything if I didn't think I could nail it. Like if I wasn't going to do it 100%, I didn't even want to do it.
Oh, wow.
It and that was really tough to get over and I'm still kind of getting over that. Um but it's really important in so many aspects. If a lot of people will go out for a run and for whatever reason it's a bad run. They set out for 4 miles, they can only do two. And then they spiral into this self-pity. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. My training's over. I'm never gonna run the race. I'm never gonna whatever. It just keeps going. And they, maybe they're supposed to run an easy 2 mile tomorrow and tomorrow comes and they're like, well, I'm not gonna bother because yesterday's run was terrible. But that's okay. Like, we're human beings. We're going to have bad days and it's okay.
Yeah.
It's just going to happen, especially if you're training hard. You can't have
Hmm.
every single run or lift be good. You just have to move on. So we have 24 hours in a day. If something goes wrong that day, wake up the next morning and just move on. Forget about it, put it in the past, or better yet, learn from it. What did I do wrong? What happened? Did I not drink enough water? Did I not eat enough beforehand? whatever it is, did I not sleep well? Learn from it instead of spiraling out of control.
Right.
Um, but then on the other side, the nutrition. I think nutrition, if I could hammer anything home, because I know I've done it. You set out with this goal of X amount of calories, X amount of carbs, whatever your diet goal is. Everybody has a different plan. Um, and then Friday comes and they have 2 beers and have a pizza, and Saturday comes and they're like, "Ugh, that was awful. I can't believe I did that, but I did. So now I'm going to have a bowl of ice cream for breakfast."
Already.
And it just keeps going. Yes. You know, we're all I am, I'll have a beer on a Friday and I'll have a pizza on Friday. And then Saturday I wake up and I eat a salad and I drink my water and it's fine. You know, it's
Yeah.
when we hold ourselves to this unrealistic expectation, like I'm going to be perfect all the time, that people just don't know where to go from there if they can't be. And I think it's really important to understand that there is no such thing as perfect. There really isn't. Are you doing better this week than you did last week? Are you eating more vegetables this week than you did last week? Did you have, a, you know, 2 beers instead of four? Whatever the
Right.
measurement is.
Baby steps. Yeah. Yeah.
But that's it. You have to look at it over a continuum, not not just yesterday. Like, oh, yesterday I screwed up yesterday, so I might as well just keep going on that trajectory.
Yeah.
But just you have to have grace. You have to give yourself grace and just start new the next day. It's fine.
Yep. The ability to start anew. I can't tell you how many people, I mean, and we've all done it. Well, I speak for myself.
Mhm.
That one day that goes awry turns into 2, and then you look up and it's been 4 weeks and
Yes.
well, you have to run and so I'm not saying this right, but someone, I think they said try not to have 2 bad days in a row or like to just, just throw it, just completely give up 2 days in a row. You can have a bad day, but get back on the next day. Because the more bad days you have, you start to kind of compound that feeling of, oh my gosh, what have I done? And it just spirals out. So, um, I also love what you're saying about progress, not perfection. Perfection is the root of procrastination, it's for some people, for a lot of people.
Mhm.
And so, you're talking about people running and not having a good run. And some people are just sitting on the couch because they don't know how to start. They don't know where to start. Um, you were a runner most of your life, but for some of those folks who may be listening that are more kind of literally they're sitting on the couch. They are not doing half of what you just talked about. What's one thing you think they could do to kind of, in the vein of progress, not perfection, what's something that they could do to kind of take a step forward off the couch?
I would say, if you can afford it, go buy a nice pair of shoes because who doesn't like to have something new
Mm,
or buy a new pair of shorts? Something that's going to make you feel good about what you're about to do. And then don't set lofty goals. If you have never run, if you don't even walk, don't sign up for a marathon.
no.
No, just go outside and walk around the block. Put your AirPods in and walk a half a mile. Do something small so that you feel accomplished because once you start feeling those accomplishments add up, then you're going to want to do more. You're going to realize, wow, this actually feels pretty good. Some people never like the way it feels to exercise. I find that hard to believe, but some people just don't like lifting or they don't like running or they don't like some aspect of it. Find something that's going to get you up in the morning, I think is the most important thing. If it's swimming, if it's biking, whatever it is, find something that you really love and just get after it.
Get after it. So, look, let me just clarify. When you say buy some shoes, are you talking about some red bottoms or are you talking about running shoes?
Running shoes,
Running shoes.
not red bottoms.
I just, Oh, like healed. I'm like, sure, that's probably not what she means. Okay.
Nope.
Maybe I'm the only one that thought that. Okay. Yes, yes. Honestly, yeah, good footwear is a must. And, for people, also in the same vein of getting off the couch, we used to say that, oh, you need to go talk to your doctor before you exercise. But if you're in moderately good health, let's say you have high blood pressure, diabetes, and that's controlled, and you really don't have any major heart issues, you can start walking around the block, just like Lori said. You don't have to, pay a $50 copay um, for your doctor to say, yeah, I want you to start walking because you have high blood pressure and diabetes, and that will help. But for people who have heart issues, you know who you are. You might need to talk with your cardiologist. So I like that. Just start walking is so easy. Walking is so easy. And it's affordable. You have to have a pair of shoes. And really you can do it anywhere. So I love that. All right. So we went through our three things. And, guys, I like to talk to my guests a little bit before. And I talked to Lori quite a bit in the store the day we met. But you said something that really stuck with me. And you said there's no endpoint, which I
Mhm.
was like, at first I was like, yeah, there's no endpoint. But yeah, there really is no endpoint. To kind of close us out, can you talk a little bit about what that statement means? There's not an endpoint.
Sure. I do a lot of programs that are 21 days, 80 days. I'm currently doing an 80-day program, and I think I'm on day 57. And some days I press play and I'm like, oh my gosh, when is this going to be over? But it's never going to be over. This program might be over, this race might be over, but you can't really think about it. You need to keep going. You need to keep going every day or, with moderate rest days too. But it's for life. You're
Yeah.
training for life. And I actually have started using the hashtag whenever I post training for life because people will ask me when I'm running, oh, you're training for something. Generally I am, but I'm like, no, I'm training for life. Like I want to live my healthiest life. So maybe my 21-day program is over. But once I get halfway through, I'm like, okay, what am I going to do next? What's the next thing I'm going to do? What's the
Right.
next race I'm going to do? Because it doesn't end. And the second it does end, the old habits start creeping back in.
Right. Yep. 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 And it's almost kind of daunting in a way, but oddly, I think when you take that approach, you realize this is a marathon, this is not a sprint, and
Mhm.
you can really implement those habits slowly. Because I think like what you said, there's always a 30-day something, 6 weeks, 12 weeks, and we just go all hard in the paint. 12 weeks is up, and we can't wait for the 12 weeks to up. We're counting down, and then it's over, and we're like, okay, now I can relax. And
Right.
if you really realize there's no endpoint, then yeah, that just kind of helped motivate me for the time. But there's more after that, and this is really a lifestyle. And hopefully, when people do these things, these 12-week challenges or 30 days, they feel better and they feel good. And that'll be enough to keep them moving forward and wanting more. So
Exactly.
I love it. So, is there anything else that you want to leave our listeners with? Anything that we might not have covered? Um, Something that people always say to you, or something that might be encouraging or inspiring before we go.
I think probably the one thing that most people hear the most is I don't have time.
Mhm.
You know, really don't have time not to. You have to make the time. You really do. And maybe it's getting up at 4:30 or maybe it's staying up a half hour past bedtime for the kids or maybe it's your lunch hour. Maybe, I try to walk a mile or two on my lunch break outside of everything else I'm doing. But if you really think about it, is it really that you don't have time or it's just not a priority?
Ooh,
And
ooh.
if it is a priority, you're going to find the time.
Did she just read some of y'all? Like, I would read, and then you don't have time or it's not a priority, and it's probably the latter. It's
Mhm.
not a priority. Um, we don't find time, we make time. So, yeah,
Right,
yeah.
right.
Well, okay. This has been so wonderful, and I just want to again publicly say thank you for coming on. Y'all, she didn't know me from anybody. Know me from anybody, but we had such a great connection. And it just as I talked to her, I'm like, oh my gosh, people have to hear your story. So, where else can they follow you, Lori? Just them.
Um, Facebook and Instagram are the biggest places. LinkedIn is more my professional channel, so
Mhm.
if you're interested in what I'm doing in construction, you can look at me there, but it's not as exciting.
Yes. Yeah, she's not out building things. It's marketing, correct? You're in
Marketing. Yeah, I'm the regional marketing manager. Mm,
so you have a job that potentially could be somewhat sedentary. Is that safe to say?
very, very
Yeah.
much so. Yeah.
More. So all the more important that you're out there and staying active. So you guys can find her on Facebook and Instagram. Is it under your name?
It is. Yep.
Okay, let's spell that last name for people who are just listening. Go ahead.
It's just how it sounds.
I'm sure it is.
It's Gicewicz.
Love it. All right. Bernardo Jacevich. I love it. So, guys, again, thank you, Lori, and thank you for being an inspiration and being willing to come on and share your knowledge with us.
Oh, you're
And
welcome.
guys, if you can take just a little bit of this, hey, taking care of yourself is not selfish. Don't compare yourself to anybody, but other than the person you were yesterday. I might have switched that up. And then number 3 was progress, not perfection. If you can just hold on to at least one of those and just kind of step out, I think that you will start a journey that will definitely enhance your life and hopefully will extend your life. So, thank you so much, guys, for listening. This is another episode of Office Visits with Dr. V. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And you know what? We'll be back next week. So check us out then. Till next time. Bye bye.